What's up, ladies? What's up? What's up? What's up? It is lunch with Kirstie. As you can see, I'm in my new office space. I'm super excited about it. I wish I could show you guys the rest of it. More of the office is up this way than it is in the back, but I've got some of um, my merch, my clothes back here in the back, and my mannequin and all of my fabrics and mood boards and all my things over on this side. But excited to be here with you this morning. This is maybe your lunch break, but I haven't had lunch yet, so I'm going to have lunch after this. Today, we're going to talk about life and work balance. And for us as founders and aspiring founders, which is something that is super important to me. And while we're on here, this will be maybe 20-minute, maybe 25-minute chat. And if you have any questions while we're talking, you can throw comments down in the chat of Facebook or YouTube or wherever you're coming on from right now, or LinkedIn. Some of you are getting this link off LinkedIn right now, and see a few people hopping on right now. So we'll jump into it. One, I wanted to share a little bit about myself, and I got to chat with my team this morning and talk to them and cast vision about not just Freedom Floor, but who I am. Because I started the company, I thought it was really important that, everybody knows like what we're doing, what we're partnering, what we're talking about, and why the vision of this whole thing. So I am a 3-time founder. This is my 3rd time founding a company, and apparently I like to start companies. That's what I do. I'm an Air Force veteran. In the Air Force, my job was communications, information management, technology. My bachelor's degree is as a business analyst. So my brain kind of works in the analyst realm. And I have an associate's degree that I got when I was in the Air Force, that is information technology as well. My master's degree is in leadership and intercultural communication. And so I've spent the majority of my time apparently getting degrees. But I've spent the majority of my time honing and figuring out what my superpower is as a woman, as a founder, and what is the advice and what is the business and the mission and the vision that I want to bring into the world and into the marketplace. So one of the things that I love to chat with people about is life-work balance. And I think that when I talk to women, a lot of times it's, okay, is it even real? It feels like a myth. It feels like something that, can't actually necessarily be achieved, a work-life balance. And is it this mystical thing where, us as women are trying to figure out how to navigate between our professional goals, our family, our health, all the personal things that are going on. And so it's really an age-old question. It's nothing new. Like there's so many taboos around and nuances around, women in the workforce. And you may have even heard, some statements like, how as a woman can you navigate being married, or how can you successfully manage a company and manage your home responsibilities and all the things. And, when I hear things like that, I'm always like, well, shout out to those of you with with an archaic mindset. But the reality is women have been navigating so many things: home, family, communities involved in the, things that are happening in the community and everything. This chat, I want to say as well, this is not specifically for women who are married. If you're single, really the same rules apply about navigating your time and being able to manage all the things. So one of the things I wanted to chat about is, how do we manage it all? Is the goal to try to manage it all? So how do we manage it all as a business owner or as an aspiring founder? Does the work-life balance even exist? And one of the things to note, one of the first things on my list, and something that I think about every morning, is that I don't have a point to prove to anybody. And I'm always looking at how to better myself from the last version of myself. where am I at better? I'm just wanting to be consistently on a path where I'm growing. And so noting that my goal is not to prove that I can outwork anybody, outwork any man, or do anything like that. And small caveat, I do believe that a lot of women work harder than some men, a lot of men out there, but it's not the goal in life. So is the goal to do it all? The goal is not to do it all. The goal is to do what needs to be done and do it in a way that is healthy and in a way that you can bring health to and manage your things. So as you guys know, I am married. I have a 7-year-old and I run a business. I've been starting businesses since I was in college. And when I was single, I didn't have to worry about, getting a call from school, that my kiddo fell and knocked his tooth out, or he's sick today, I got to go pick him up. But also I have all the work meetings, investor pitches and all types of things to do. And how do we manage all of those things? When you're single, that piece is a little bit easier. You're able to go at a different speed and a different rigor than somebody who is, doesn't have those other responsibilities. But that and still, it is all still about doing what is healthy and doing what is best for you. So for me, I always bring it back to home. For me, I've had to pull back and be like, okay, today is a day that it's just going to have to be a family day, and I have to pivot quickly. There we go. Sorry about that. My mic got muted for a second because my AirPod went out. But one of the things that I do is I pivot quickly. I think about, okay, so my day is shifted and it's different now. I try my best to keep a positive perspective about the fact that everything just went this way. So now I'm needing to pivot and make sure that, okay, this is what this day is. Today I'm mom. I'm always mom. But in this moment, I'm a mom and I'm having to take care of my son, get him out of school, or have this going on with family, or I have this going on with health. And so having to pivot quickly and having a supportive team who understands that as well. I talk a lot about gender roles and like what it looks like to, let's see, do I have sound? I wish I could see like a thumbs up, or if you guys can comment and let me know if I have sound, because some people saying I do not have sound. Do I have sound? Okay, we hear me now. Okay, great. Okay. Let's see about that. Okay. But yeah, one of the things, and I'm married as well, I think one of the biggest things is who you partner with. Like who you partner with. If you partner with somebody who is not supportive of women in business, or is not supportive of your ambition and your get up and go as a woman, then you're going to be, it's going to be kind of challenging, because partner support is primary when you are in a relationship, not even just married, but if you're in a relationship with somebody, and then it's constantly the communication is, how you can be at home or how you can just focus on just this. And so it's super huge that your partner, whether married or not partner, is understanding and supportive of your drive, your ambition, your entrepreneurial spirit, because it's not going anywhere. And it's probably going to drive you crazy if you have somebody who doesn't get and who doesn't support women leadership. So that's important. Another thing is community. I'm a firm believer in you reaching your goals via collaborative, concerted efforts, and whatever that looks like. But it is so important to have a network of people who have tools that you don't have, who have skills that you don't have, and that you're not always trying to be the best. If your community is you're the best in the room, then it's time to switch gears, because can be the best in the room and grow. You need some people in the room who are better than you, who can move things forward. in a different way than you can. And so looking for professional groups to be a part of, where it feels like this is a group you can be a part of. Having a peer group that's going in a similar direction, even if the peer group is 2, 3, 4 people or whatever, but you need a peer group who is, these people understand they're either CEOs or they're grinding, or they're aspiring founders. Maybe they're in the workforce doing something different, but want to one day start a business. But it is so important, your community and your connection, how you're connected. And all of this is related to navigating your professional goals and how to balance, work and life. Because if you don't have this, you're literally like, you're going crazy, trying to figure out how to do all the things. And community makes it way easier. So my plug, of course, for the FF Social Club is we are gathering a community of women who are this way, who are collaborative minded, collaborative spirited, and who are ambitious, who are driven to make the world a better place that they live in. And that's what we do as women, because we're multipliers. So what we do is, when we get resources in our hands, one of the things that we do is make sure that we are impacted, we are well, we are healthy, but that pours out to everybody else that's around us. Another key thing for work-life balance is the power of sleep. I like a nap. I'm the nap queen, okay? Like, for me, it doesn't matter if the day is going absolutely crazy. It just depends. I may leave work and then I may just have to nap for an hour and then come back to it and refresh and recenter. We don't all have the liberty to do that, but we do have the liberty to take a pause and figure out a healthy rhythm. So all of this power of sleep stuff that I talk about is about healthy rhythms of rest and healthy rhythms of play. And then I'm not going to give anybody a prescriptive here and say that you have to do it this way because this is the way that I do it. Because I really do believe that it is as unique to each one of us individually, is just as unique as we all are. So, but from a personal perspective for me, it does look like take a Saturday off, take the full day off to rest and do whatever it is I want to do. If it's resting, if it's playing, recovering. Saturdays for me, if it's with friends, it looks like being with friends that I can actually let my hair down and be myself around. I'm not going to pick the day that I rest to be around people where I have to be boss and perform and do all the things. These are going to be like friends, people that I can really be with and be refreshed by. So when I come back to work Monday, I'm not worn out and frazzled because I haven't had soul refreshing. So, and a really important thing for us women as CEOs, you cannot run a business if you are run down and raggedy. You can try. You have teams to lead or whatever it is that you're doing, but it's really hard to run a business if you are worn down and raggedy, and I'm not saying put on your performance hat. I'm saying establish healthy rhythms of rest and play again. And so your health and wellness are going to be super important to you having a life and work balance. Knowing what your body needs for recovery and wellness are huge. If any of you have been following me on social media, like on Facebook or on Instagram, you may have saw maybe 3 months ago, 2 or 3 months ago or something like that, I had a health issue, and it's related to a blood condition that I had. Was really important. If I didn't know that those things were already going on, it took a lot of research and discovery and working with nutritionists and wellness coaches and all the things to figure out what's going on internally in my body so that I always have the things that I need. So I always post a ton of vitamins. I have my vitamins or my supplements and my protein and all the things that I take so that I'm healthy and nourished and feel well throughout the day. So it's one of my personal rhythms is a cup of coffee in the morning, shot of caffeine that I dump inside of my protein shake, and then 3 to 5 days a week, typically 5 days a week, a 45-minute workout, drop my kid off at school, come into the office or work from home. Those are rhythms that I have. And I think that a lot of us already have rhythms and things that we're doing, but we haven't looked at it okay, this is something that I'm doing every single day. And I think it just takes intentionality to look at it and say, these are things that I'm doing every day. put it on a schedule, put it on a routine, and boom, this is what I do like clockwork. Not that it can't be adjusted and shifted, but I'm already doing this. And so another one of the things I think for life work balance is establishing boundaries, leaving work at work. That has been something, I'm not even going to lie, that has been something that's very hard for me, especially when I first start or when I first found a business, or depending on what stage we're in. It is really hard to leave work at work because I am in research and discovery mode. I am up building business plans and pitch decks and talking to all the people and doing all those things that people don't see in the background. And so that can be a hard thing to leave work at work. But now that I have an office, and I've worked from home mostly, it's easier to leave work here and then come in the morning and do what needs to be done and then get home and say, hey, I'm home now. I'm going to be intentional and be home with my family. I'm going to be home with my husband and be home with my kid. We're going to play, we're going to eat together, have a healthy meal or go get a healthy meal, because sometimes I'm just not cooking. It's just not happening. But I'm going to go get something for us to eat, or, we'll eat something light, work out, watch movies or do whatever we do homework and stuff together until it's time to leave. But those are rhythms that we can look at our life and say, like, what is it that I need? And something else that I thought about when I was thinking about work-life balance for all of us is that so many times we don't know what we need. Like, I talked to a friend and she was like, man, I went, out of state to this lounge, like resort. You heard of like spas and all that type of stuff where you can go and like completely refresh and recenter. And like other countries, like maybe in the desert or like all those, there's so much. And people spend a lot of money and do a lot of things to go places where they can like mentally feel refreshed and physically, and where their soul feels completely restored. And you can spend all that money and do all those things and come back home to work, life, career, single, married, doesn't matter. And you can come back and feel exactly the same or even more run ragged than you did before you left. Like you hear people say, when we go on a family vacation, I feel more exhausted than I did when I was going. And we used to do the same thing. But now when we go on vacations, it's like, I'm not going to be all over the place. Like, we are most definitely, this day we are resting. This day we were chilling. We may even be at our hotel or resort or wherever we're at. And we just have a day where we just straight ordering in and we are watching movies and we're just together as a family. And it's like, yeah, there's a lot going on in LA. There's a lot going on in this place and that place. It'll be all right. But resting is like most definitely primary to that. But again, people, you can spend all this money to go to all these places, and do all these things, because I've done all that too. And I've come back and felt the same, like other people do as well. Like, this is exhausting and I didn't get any. What am I really like? There's like a deep yearn. What am I really yearning for? What, like the rest of my life? How do I get this rest and refreshing so that I can come back and be well for everybody else? I believe that it is important to know who you are and what your soul is lacking. And this is a whole nother topic, and it's actually, a part of a course that I'll be teaching later in later months or whatever, a course that we're building out. But it is all about soul refreshing. It is all about soul care. And if you've lost your soul because you've been sleepwalking and you've been doing everything that everybody else wants you to do, like a huge part of soul care is like knowing what your desires are, your will, your emotions. It's the truth of who you are is really what your soul is really seeking, because your soul seeks purpose, it seeks guidance, and it has an appetite. And sometimes that appetite can be good, sometimes the appetite can be bad. And sometimes it can be, the thing that guides you in the right direction or the thing that guides you in the wrong direction. But if you don't know what it is that your soul is really needing to refresh, then again, you can do all the things. And especially for us as women in business, you can be mom, you can be wife, you can be single, ripping and running, doing all the things and look like super mom or super, business owner to everybody else. But on the outside, you are wiped out. And again, establishing these healthy rhythms are important because it doesn't matter if you're doing all the things, and it doesn't matter what it looks like on the surface to everybody else if you're not in a good mindset. So, or you don't know. But just off the top, like if your question was, um, okay, you're telling me all this stuff about, knowing who I am internally and what my soul wants to be refreshed. How in the heck do I find out what it is that my soul needs to refresh? How I find myself. And I'll give you a basic caveat because we're already at 21 minutes. I don't know if you guys are at lunch or if you're missing lunch, but I want you to get back to work and do your thing. But it's really important. Some of the basic things that you can do are set aside time for rest and reconnection, and simply start by writing. Contemplation and silence are some things, walks in the park, meditation. These are all things that we've heard of. But temperament plays a huge part in what we are drawn to and what we're not drawn to. And there's so many, I think there's 4 or 5 different temperaments, but in the different temperaments, one of them is, I think it's like melancholic, like you're more on the sadder side, or you may be on the happier side, or whatever. For me, I fall towards people who are like, I need to be in nature. I need to not be around people 100% of the time. I will literally wig out if I'm around people all day long. I cannot do it. And it's not a personal thing. It's just that it's what I personally know that I need to be refreshed, is to not be around people all day. And you could be like, how in the world do you do that? You married, you got a kid, and y'all be about to lose my mind. I can't be around them all day. So they know that about me. I know that I've always known that about me, even when we were single, and dating or whatever, me and Chauncey, my husband. But, when we got married, like he'd see me like on the patio by myself, like in my hammock, and I'd be reading. And he eventually got to the point where he knew, like, just walk, just keep walking. Don't even stop. Don't say, hey, just let me, take my time in to refresh, recenter in nature. It's a huge part of what I need. So these are things that I know about myself. I meet people all the time who have no idea what they need. And so you may do what you think somebody else is doing it because it sounds good, but then you may go outside and be like, I don't want to be out here with all these bugs and in nature, and all this does nothing for me. Well, for you, it may be intellectually, you may be more intellectually stimulated. You may need to watch documentaries. You may need, there's different things that we need. And then that helps us realize like who we are internally. It helps us realize some things that we may have put away, and tucked away just and got into this rat race of working. And so even if you start out simply establishing 5 minutes of I'm going to rest, or 5 minutes of in the morning when I wake up, I'm going to take time for myself. I don't care what time my kids wakes up. I don't care what else I'm doing. The phone is like, listen, this is the first thing. Sometimes when I wake up in the morning, this is like the first thing I do. And I hate that, but sometimes that happens. And I get to the point sometimes where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put the phone in the other room because it can't be the first thing that I do when I wake up. So I find myself restarting and being like, okay, the first 5 or 10 minutes or whatever the day are already gone because I gave it to social media. So I'm going to recenter, listen to some morning meditations, or if you pray early in the morning, whatever you need to do to get yourself centered emotionally, mentally, spiritually. But I want to encourage you guys to join the social club. There are links if you're in YouTube right now, the links are in the description in the bottom of the YouTube thing. So you'll see links there about how to join the social club. And a small caveat on that as well, we are in beta right now. So we are finding out what women who are founders and CEOs need and want, what type of access, what type of courses, what type of community that they want to be a part of. With also, staying connected to the fact that, our heart is and our mission is collaboration and resources for women. So those are going to be things that they're built in. They're not going anywhere. They're not moving. And so that's what we're looking for. We're looking for women who have the same heart towards collaboration, who need resources and skills, but who are also bringing their skills into the community. So it's not just the community where I'm coming in because I'm going to get. What are your skills? Are you social media? Are you banking and microloans? Are you investor, relations, or all these different type of things. Those are skills that we need inside of our community for women. So it's super huge and super important that if you feel like those are, skills that you have or gifts or whatever they are, and you can bring those to the community, but then you can also benefit from being a part of a collaborative community like this, then definitely join at the link down there at the bottom. Again, we are in the process of working on this course that I'm doing. And it's, again, all about finding yourself, all about finding what are healthy rhythms for you, because I truly believe that you really can't find out what your vision or your mission is if you do not know who you are. So there is a lot of people who are walking around a little bit soul lost or whatever, but I believe that we can all get back to who we are and really figure out what our desires, our emotions, and the truth of who we are, so that we can build something that's healthy. We can establish healthy life rhythms. And it's going to be, this isn't one of those, okay, boom, for the rest of my life, now I'm set, I got this. It's kind of like how people go into counseling. You go into counseling and you think, okay, well, I went one day, I went for 3 weeks, and, now I'm better. This is a lifelong skill to build and to keep building upon. So that is, I don't know if we have any questions. I do see some talking over here. Some people chatting away saying that building healthy rhythms, establishing healthy rhythms to stay refreshed. Absolutely. Well, excited to be with you guys today. And I will be letting you know what our next talk is about on next Thursday. And we'll chat with you soon. Happy lunching.